Here is a painful truth. Everything you consider real, your house, your body, your memories, even this moment as you hear these words, is nothing more than an elaborate projection of your own consciousness, a hologram, a simulation. You are simultaneously the dreamer, the dream, and the one who awakens within the dream. This is not a New Age fantasy or a philosophical daydream. It is the most radical revelation ever contemplated by the human mind. A truth that spans millennia and cultures, echoing from the sacred temples of ancient India to the most sophisticated laboratories of contemporary quantum physics. 5,000 years ago, the Vedic sages whispered a word that contained within it the secret of all existence, Maya. Not just a word, but the explanation for why you feel separate from the universe, why you seek outside what you already have within, why happiness always seems like a day in the future that never arrives, like a mirage in the desert. Maya is not simply illusion, it is the very mechanism through which the one consciousness fragments itself into infinite individual experiences, creating the great cosmic comedy where each actor forgets they are acting and believes they are the character. In this moment, as you process these words, quantum waves are collapsing into solid particles only because you are observing them. Your brain is constructing a three-dimensional reality from two-dimensional electrical impulses. Your mind is creating a coherent self from trillions of cells that constantly renew themselves. Have you ever wondered who the true observer is behind your eyes? Who is the one that remains constant while your thoughts, emotions, and sensations flow like clouds in the sky of consciousness? The ancient knew something that modern science is only beginning to rediscover. The reality we perceive is a cooperative construction between consciousness and cosmos, a cosmic theater where each soul plays the role of an individual life, temporarily forgetting its infinite nature. This is the story of Maya, the sacred illusion that allows the one to experience itself as many, the eternal to live time, the infinite to know itself through the finite. It is the story of how you, being pure consciousness, can forget yourself so completely that you desperately seek to return to what you never cease to be. Prepare to question everything you consider solid and to discover the freedom that exists in recognizing the illusory nature of the prison you believe you're in. To understand Maya, we must return to the origins, when humanity still kept its eyes open to mysteries we now call impossible. In the Vedas, the oldest texts of humanity, we find the first systematic description of this force that weaves apparent reality. The Rig Veda speaks of Maya as the creative power of Indra, the god who uses his magical art to manifest worlds. But this was not magic in a fanciful sense. It was the understanding that reality emerges through a creative process that transcends ordinary logic. In the Upanishads, particularly the Mandukya, Maya is revealed in its deepest dimension. The text describes 4 states of consciousness: waking, dreaming, deep sleep, and turiya, the 4th state, which is pure awareness, witnessing the other 3. For consciousness in turiya, all other states are equally illusory temporary projections on the eternal screen. Shankara, the great Advaita master, explained Maya through a luminous analogy. A man walks at night and sees a snake on the ground. His heart races, his body recoils in fear. Only when he approaches with a lantern does he discover it was a rope. The snake never existed, but the fear was absolutely real. The rope was always there, but was temporarily obscured by mental projection. So it is with Maya. It is not that the world is false, but that our perception of it is colored by fundamental ignorance of our own nature. We see multiplicity where there is unity, separation where there is connection, mortality where there is eternity. The Bhagavad Gita reveals Krishna explaining to Arjuna, "This divine Maya of mine, composed of the three gunas, is difficult to transcend. Those who take refuge in me surpass this Maya." But Maya is not exclusive to Hindu tradition. Buddhists speak of samsara, the cycle of conditioned existences, where the mind creates suffering through identification with the impermanent. Taoism describes the phenomenal world as the eternal dance between yin and yang, polarities that exist only in dualistic perception. Christian Gnostics taught that the material world was an illusion created by the demiurge, a limited consciousness that believed itself the true creator. For them, spiritual awakening was recognizing the divine spark beyond this illusory creation. What all these traditions realized is that there is a fundamental difference between reality and apparent reality. Water does not disappear when it becomes vapor. It merely changes form. Consciousness does not disappear when it manifests as the world. It merely temporarily forgets its unitary nature. The Hermetic principle of mentalism teaches that the all is mind, the universe is mental. This means that all manifestation is a mental projection of the Absolute, a cosmic thought form in the divine mind. We, as fragments of that mind, actively participate in the creation of reality through our observation and intention. This understanding brings us to the threshold of an even deeper revelation. If Maya is the power through which consciousness creates the experience of separation, then understanding Maya is the first step toward transcending it, not by denying the world, but by recognizing its true nature. We now arrive at the most extraordinary moment of this journey, when modern science inadvertently confirms what mystics have always known. In the 20th century, quantum physics shattered our belief in solid and objective reality, revealing a universe that functions exactly as the Vedic sages described. Werner Heisenberg, one of the fathers of quantum mechanics, stated, "What we observe is not nature itself, but nature exposed to our method of questioning." In other words, there is no reality independent of the observer. The very act of observation participates in the creation of what is observed. The double-slit experiment demonstrates something that should be impossible by ordinary logic. An electron passes through both slits simultaneously until it is observed. Then it decides which slit it passed.
Imagine this. Every particle around you exists in endless possibilities until your very awareness chooses which reality to live. Science calls it quantum superposition. The ancients called it Maya. And both whisper the same truth. Reality is not something you look at, it's something your consciousness creates. Physicist David Bohm revealed a hidden order beneath everything, an invisible field of pure potential that unfolds into the world we see. The sages of Vedanta called it Brahman, the source of all creation. Schrödinger, one of the fathers of quantum mechanics, studied the Upanishads and discovered what they had known for millennia. Consciousness does not come from matter, matter comes from consciousness. That's why scientists still struggle with the hard problem of consciousness. You can search every neuron, every brain cell, and you won't find it, because it's like searching for the dreamer inside the dream. The dreamer isn't in the dream is in the dreamer. Carl Jung saw it too. From soldiers, farmers, mothers, and children, from every corner of the world, came the same symbols, the same dreams, the same hidden stories. He called it the collective unconscious, a shared human inheritance of myths and archetypes. The hero, the great mother, the shadow. These timeless patterns shape us all, whether we know it or not. And here's the most shattering truth. What you call you, the everyday ego, is just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath it is an ocean of mind, a vast shared reality connecting every American, every human being, every life that ever was. We are not isolated. We are connected at the deepest level imaginable. Even science confirms what the mystics always said. Everything is vibration. Nothing is solid. The diamond and the cloud are made of the same energy, just moving at different frequencies. And the greatest illusion isn't that matter appears solid, it's that you and I seem separate at all. Observer and observed, subject and object, self and other are all waves in the same eternal ocean. Einstein showed us that even time and space bend around the observer. The Upanishads told us long before, time and space are part of the illusion. Modern physics calls it entanglement, instant connection across infinite distance. The ancients said it simply, all is Brahman, all is one. Separation is an appearance. Connection is the truth. So what do we do with this knowledge? Do we dismiss life as an illusion? No, because Maya is not a prison, it's a playground. It's the way infinite consciousness experiences love, struggle, loss, triumph, the human story. Without it, there would be no joy in rediscovery, no beauty in creation, no adventure in becoming. Ramana Maharshi said, "The world is real, but not separate from consciousness." Jung called it individuation, the journey of becoming whole, of integrating our personal story with the greater self. The alchemists called it solve et coagula, dissolve and recreate. This is what it means to awaken, not to reject life, but to live it with the knowledge that you are more than your name, your role, your story. You are the actor, not just the character, the dreamer, not just the dream. And here's the emotional truth America needs right now. We are not divided by politics, race, or creed. We are waves in the same ocean, sparks of the same fire. Awakening doesn't mean abandoning the world. It means realizing that this world, even with all its struggles, is sacred, because it is consciousness itself discovering what it means to be alive. The choice is yours. Will you keep believing you are just the character, or will you remember you are the light behind the play?
Life. This manifests as a fundamental lightness. Problems still appear, but they lose their existential weight. Emotions still arise, but no longer define us. Thoughts still flow, but no longer imprison us. We live fully engaged, yet remain fundamentally free. All the sages of the past are pointing to the same truth. You are much vaster than you imagine, much freer than you believe, much more connected than you feel. The journey is not to some distant place, but inward. Maya is not your enemy, it is your greatest teacher. Through it, you learn what you are not to discover what you are. Through the experience of limitation, you recognize your unlimited nature. Through the game of forgetting, you experience the joy of remembering. This is the supreme irony of existence. You are trying to escape a prison that exists only in your imagination. You are simultaneously the prisoner, the prison, the key, and the freedom. Maya is the veil that hides this truth and, paradoxically, the very means by which it can be discovered. Awakening within the dream is not abandoning human life, but living it as the sacred dance it has always been. Every encounter becomes a reunion between aspects of the same consciousness. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to remember who you truly are. Every moment becomes a doorway to the eternal now. You know the secret whispered by sages through the millennia. You were never born and will never die, because you are life itself manifesting temporarily as human form. Maya is your cosmic disguise and also your invitation to the most glorious awakening imaginable. To discover that you are both the seeker and the sought, both the question and the answer, both the path and the destination. If all of this touched something inside you, a deep intuition, a forgotten memory, or simply a strong desire to go beyond appearances, then perhaps it's time to take the next step. The illusion of Maya may be dense, but there are ancient maps that help us cross it. The secret you've been searching for is finally within your reach. For those daring enough to unlock the limitless power of the mind and awaken the 7 laws that rule the inner universe, the ancient text, the Master Key, awaits in the description below. But beware, this is not just a book. It is the Master Key that opens every hidden door of the Temple of Mysteries. The choice is yours. If you're ready to step beyond illusion and claim your true nature, the key is already in your hands. Link below. Welcome to the beginning of your awakening.